So a little more street maintenance over here just around the corner from the tumbleweeds we just filmed at the island. And as you can see, all this vegetation growing in the street is going to cause damage to the street, which is going to cause more maintenance. But since there's no maintenance, I guess it really doesn't matter. Citizens of Apple Valley get written up by the town for this kind of overgrown vegetation. But if you're the town and you own it, you can do whatever you want, whether it's the law or not. So the town pays for the streets to be put in, and then they don't pay or maintain them. And if you look at this gutter, this drainage issue, ain't nothing going to get through there. It's full of vegetation. We're going to go down here to this other drain. And from what I understand, Frank, the reason these drains are put in is because they're required based on state statutes, safety issues, health issues. So I ask you, Frank, how's anything going to get through that? Because all the vegetation that's in the gutter is going to come down here, and this is going to back it up, and nothing's going to get through. So you pay for it, the town pays for it, and then you don't maintain it so that it runs efficiently, runs cost efficiently, and is dependable. And this is exactly what you're going to do to the water company, Frank. You're going to mismanage it, you're not going to maintain it, and you're going to destroy it. Town's going to pay good money for it, and then Frank is going to destroy it because Frank ain't going to manage the maintenance properly. And that'd be the town of Apple Valley, where your town manager and your city council is out of touch with the reality of what's going on in the everyday world of managing and maintaining a city. All they're worried about is their media events that they can brag about and go to and post on Facebook and just all the other stuff that the town council's worried about. And on top of it, they give Frank a $4,000 retirement bump for his job performance evaluation. So, good old boy politics? Yeah, probably. Remember, when it comes to a vote, right here, one little drain, and Frank, super manager, can't manage it. Must have been a breakdown in communication of local control. Remember Apple Valley, a better waste of life. Okay, so here we are in the town of Apple Valley. And my first question is, has anyone out there ever been written up by the town of Apple Valley code enforcement for overgrown vegetation? So they come to your house and they inspect you and they write you up for your own private property for overgrown vegetation. Now, I personally think this qualifies as overgrown vegetation.
Thank you.
That lady right there is thanking me for exposing this. So, there's a citizen that's not happy with the town of Apple Valley. She took the time to stop, and I don't know if you could hear her on my recorder, but she said, thank you. She said, thank you, Frank, for such a fine job. She said, thank you, Jim Anderson, for such a fine job. And this whole street, what's really ironic is, this side of the island has no tumbleweeds. So there are those who would say, well, Carrie, of course there's no tumbleweeds because there's only tumbleweeds on one side of the island. Do you think that the tumbleweeds seeds that blow around pick which side they're going to take seed on or take root on? So basically what we have here is the town obviously came out and did one side, but then they didn't do anything on the other side because they left and never came back. Now, you could look at that two ways. You could look at it as a breakdown in communications. I'm going to zoom in and let you see what's up there. Or you could call it lack of local control. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to walk back this way and I'm going to show you something, okay? What I'm going to show you here is that just in the last day or so, the town came by and they put in some patch. They put in pothole patch, okay? Now this pothole patch, you see how loose it is? That basically just means it's fresh. Now, what I don't understand is, if the city guy was just here within the day, why he didn't take care of these weeds? Because like you've seen in my videos before, the town just goes through and whacks off the weeds and then they just throw them in the street. So there was no issue as far as the town's policy is to picking them up. All you got to do is just whack them and let them fall in the street. So the guy that was here doing the pothole patch could have, if he cared, and Frank had local control, and there was no breakdown in communication. Oh my gosh, that's probably why Frank gets $340,000 a year, is to coordinate all that. So you got Frank at $340,000 a year. You got 3 assistant town managers at $275,000 average. You've got supervisors below that at $150,000. You've got the guy that did the pothole patch at $100,000. And you still have overgrown vegetation, and I'm thinking there really is no excuse for it. Because right there you've got $2.5 million worth of payroll. And we still have weeds on the center islands. So here's how the town of Apple Valley handles their tumbleweeds. They just basically whack them off and then they let them blow in the street. And this would be Frank Robinson's idea of local control. Your town manager authorizes this kind of workmanship. $5 million a year payroll for staff, and this is what you get. You get your weeds whacked and thrown in the street. Local control, Frank. Good concept. I think it's going to work well on the water company. You're doing a fine job. Keep it up. This right here is a traffic hazard, Frank. People will swerve to miss this. And then you're going to have an accident, and then what? You're just going to go, oops, sorry? You're such an idiot, Frank. You really are. This is Frank Robinson's idea of local control. This is how the town deals with tumbleweeds on the islands. Creates a traffic hazard because people are going to swerve to miss these. And about the only thing I got to say to you, Frank Robinson, is you're an idiot. You are the town idiot. $340,000 a year. And this is the kind of crap you do. So as you can see, after the town saw my videos on the island tumbleweeds, they came out and they hacked the weeds. And with company policy, town policy, they just left them in the street. That'd be local control. Unless, of course, Frank, there was a breakdown in communication. But I filmed this yesterday, And this is just to show you that they didn't come back and pick them up. And these are sort of a traffic hazard because they're big enough to where people are concerned and they'll swerve and create an accident. And as you can see, the gutter's full because they used to be on the left on my yesterday video, and now they're on the right from the wind. And apparently this tumbleweed didn't get hacked because he's bright and green and he's still stuck on the no, I guess he did get hacked. He just has a flat spot on him, so he didn't blow away. But that'd be the town of Apple Valley, and they want to run the water company. And tumbleweeds and water companies are totally different. So if the town has this policy with tumbleweeds, you can imagine what the town's policy is going to be as far as the effects and the consequences of the town's maintenance issues. And this is all brought to you by Frank Robinson, your $340,000 a year town manager, and his almost $1 million a year, about $900,000 for his 3 assistant town managers. So if it comes down to a vote, citizens, you know what you got to do. You can't let them have the water company. They'll ruin it.